Alright, so I thought I would unbox or unravel this with you on camera so that we can open it together. This is the travel watercolor palette. So you can see the instructions are on the back. I cannot read Japanese, so I'm just going to look at the images, and it seems self-explanatory, but I thought I would unpack it with you on camera so that you can follow along if you like. So there's a water bottle, I guess, like a reservoir where you can take the water with you. And then this part here, this looks like the brush is inside. So let's pop this open. See, the brush is inwards, which is new. I've never done this. I've never used one like this before. So you have to put the water in there and then cap that on there. That's interesting. That's very small. It's smaller than my hand. My hands are not that big, and you can see it's very, very compact. It also includes a palette of 12 colors. And those are the colors there. I will do a swatch later on. It also comes with some postcards. So if you like to kind of create some postcards and send them to your friends, or you can just make them for yourself and include them in your journals. There are 3 postcards, and they're also from the Kuretake brand. So this is the portable set here, and it's very, very lightweight. So there's a Velcro closure, and let's see how, oh, that's very neat. It has a pocket where you can keep your stuff. Oh, that's very neat. Okay, so let's look at the image. So it looks like the palette is opened. See if I can open this up. You open up the palette, and I'm assuming that the top cover slips right under this elastic. I think it says you can use it as a palette, like a mixing palette. I think it would be cool, or it would be neat. Oops. I was pushing too hard. This came off. It's like a CD cover. There you go. So I think it would be neat if you put like a white piece of paper underneath so that you can actually see the true mixture of colors, if I'm making sense. Like, you know, if you have to mix a couple of colors together, if it's against this gray piece of fabric, then it's kind of hard to see the true color that you're mixing. So if you have like a white sheet there, then you can see the color that you're mixing from these watercolors. So maybe that's something to take into consideration, but that's kind of neat. This kind of gets in the way. I don't know if there's a spot you can tuck it in, or let's see. There we go. This part flips backwards, it says. Oh, I see. And here is another set of, like, it's a pocket. It looks like you can maybe put tissues in there or like a cloth. A cloth would be really good. And then you can, I don't know if you can see, there's little plastic corner, I don't know what these are called, the corners, the little sleeves on the corners, so that you can slide in your postcard or your paper that you're using. And it looks like that, and so you can have your hand, my hands are not that big, but you can see that you can have your hand out like that, supporting it. And you have your brush here, and like that if you are out. And I really like this pocket option here. So you can close it up and put everything in here once you're finished. If you want to put in, like, you know, pencils, eraser, cloth. I think the cloth would be very nice to be, oh, there's some Velcro here too, so you don't have to really hold it hold it in place. So you just kind of tape it to the back. But I think it would be neat, very neat to have like maybe some tissues or cloth that you can wipe your paint brush on. But I really like this. This is so neat. And then you can kind of pack it up when you're finished. It's all contained. Oh yeah, there's a pocket here too. So there's a lot of space. Maybe we can put our cards in here, or if you have your own set of watercolor papers that you like or you prefer, you can put them in there. Very nice. So it holds like that, and you're all ready to go. Very, very compact and lightweight, and this is by the brand Kuretake. That. So let me do a swatch for you of the colors. Let's see if I can do this on camera as well. I'll just put some water in here, like let's pretend we're going outside. I'll put some water in here, I'll transfer it to this one and see how this brush holds up, because I've never used one like this before. And we'll do a swatch as well. I'll get my notebook. Right, so I filled this with water. The spout is very, very small. I was a little shocked, to be honest. You just unscrew the cap and then it's a very, very small little hole there. So I just kind of squeezed it and I ran it under the tap. And then the water just went in very easily. And so you can't really stand this up. You can see it doesn't have like a flat, it's kind of rounded. There's a bit of a ridge there on the bottom. So I'm going to, this hole is quite big. So if you have a sink nearby, you can easily just refill it there at the sink. But if you are traveling and you're out and about and there's no water source, you can use this. You can take this with you ahead of time. And you just kind of squirt some in there. I'm not going to do it all the way, but we'll leave it at that. I'll put the cap back on. So you can see right there the water. You can put this back on. So I think it says try not to squeeze too hard. I mean, if you squeeze too hard, obviously this part is going to pop off, I'm assuming. So just kind of give it like a gentle squeeze, and then you can kind of feel, oh, there we go. You can feel the water come out. So I really didn't have to squeeze that much. Like I said, if you squeeze too hard, it might fully come off. So just make sure that it's securely on there. So I am going to do a swatch of the colors here. I'm using a Traveler's Company, I think this is like a sketch notebook or a watercolor. It's watercolor paper, the spiral ring notebook from Traveler's Company. So I thought I would do a swatch of the colors. I know there's the swatch on the back here, but it's always nice to see the actual colors. So let's start off. I'm just going to do the exact same layout. Let's start off with, let's do it this way, with the light colors. So I don't think you'll be able to see the white, but there's the white there. And each time I'm doing it, I'm not pushing it at all because there's still water on the brush. I'm not pushing this part at all. I feel like just by even going like that, it pulls the water into the brush. Like I'm not even pushing, but you can see clearly that the brush is clearing out and it's cleaning itself. So I feel like once you do that, like once you push the brush down, the water kind of pulls itself downwards. I don't know if I'm making sense, but this whole time I was doing the swatch, I didn't even push this at all. So just to get just to let you know, those are the swatches. So just kind of playing around here. I wanted to see if I could get like a darker color. I think a lot of these were kind of watered, well, it's watercolor, so of course they're watered down, but for example, let's try to get like a more richer, like a richer color of this one. I'm going to just squeeze it a little bit, make sure that the brush isn't too dry, and then you can see when I was swatching that I didn't really load the brush with paint, but this time I'm going to try and load the brush with lots of paint and see if there is a, yeah, so it's a lot more rich this way compared to this one here. It's a lot lighter because of course it's watered down, like it was like that. So yeah, if you want a darker color, just load your brush with more paint. So those are the swatches. Let me get a closer look for you. I think it offers a nice variation of colors. To be honest, I think real artists only need like, you know, only a very small palette of colors, and then they can mix their own colors. But I'm really not there yet, and I think this gives a really nice variety, gives a nice, like a pop of color here with the purple, orange, and reds. Yeah, so it offers a nice variation of colors, and I hope you have fun playing along. Don't forget to tag us on Instagram or on social media if you decide to make anything with the watercolors. I would love to see. I'm going to try and make some postcards as well so that I can ship them off to my friends. So I thought it would be fun to share with you the process of painting the postcard that was included in September's stationery selection box. This is all kind of freehand. I used an image online as a reference, and then I just kind of went with that. I took some screenshots of some momiji, some Japanese maple, and tried to kind of have a little twist to it, or just added my own little flavoring to it, I suppose. And it was just kind of having fun. I didn't pencil it in, which I think I should have now that I am filming this, and now that I've tried it out, I should have kind of penciled in the leaf ahead of time so that I knew the shape. But this is all free-handed and just kind of going with the flow, trying to add some vibrant reds and oranges to the tips or the edges of the leaf, and then having the green and the yellow colors bleed through in the middle part of the leaf. So you see me doing that. And I think it's so neat about watercolor how the colors kind of flow together and mesh with each other, creating something that you can't really mimic the next time. Like it's just that's what I really like about watercolors, is that every single time it's unique, and every single time you get a different result, and it's so fun that way. But anyway, so this is what the process looks like, and I thought it would be fun to share with you. I end up lettering Life is Full of Color, and you'll notice in the video that the lettering spacing is a little bit different from the spacing on the actual printed postcard. That is because after I scanned the postcard into my computer, I decided to play around with the spacing a little bit because I wasn't happy with it. So I haven't really, the only thing I really played around with was the lettering. I didn't touch any of the leaf or anything like that, or the coloring of it at all. I just cut out the words and then just played around with the spacing with that, for the final product, and that was, yeah, that's what it turns out to look like. I end up I don't know if you noticed, there's like a space near the bottom of the postcard, so I wasn't happy with the spacing too, so I ended up playing around with that as well on not Illustrator, Photoshop, after I scanned it in. If you have like a big blob of water that you're not happy with, or if there's something that you want to erase, you can always take a Kleenex and wipe it off and let that dry, and you can add a bit of watercolor on top of it. So I really like watercolor in that respect. And then this one here is another design that I was kind of debating if I should do something like this with the various different sizes of leaves, or should I just do one big leaf. So I ended up just doing one big leaf for September's box, but this is just another version of it. I was not happy at all with the lettering, and I don't know, it just didn't work out for me in the end, but I thought it would be fun to just share with you the footage for it. Sorry, I bumped into the, the tripod there. But yeah, it's the same thing. I concentrated the lighter yellow color in the middle, and I added the darker reds and the rich oranges near the edges. And you can see there I added a bit too much red in the middle, so I just dabbed a bit of tissue and let the tissue suck out the red paint. I'm doing the same with this smaller leaf here on the other side, and it's just a lot of fun. I add a little bit of green, and I think that's about it. I hope you had fun watching the process of making of these two postcards, and if you have any questions, as always, please feel free to email. I will leave all the information down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.